I can't use the term missionaries because they're friends.
Yeah.
In my life, they're friends.
Yeah.
And I wish there were more friendships like the ones that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it's very unique, and it is a first in my life.
People of Creston City, people of everywhere around the world, this is David Christopher Pacheco.
Hi, my name is Kimmy.
My name is Arthur Ortiz. Been in Denver since 1973.
Okay, so let's just talk in circles for a little bit.
Just talk in circles, just shoot the breeze a little.
Yeah.
Now they see beyond what I look like. They see what my actions are and say, hey, that is a good person.
A lot of people say home is where the heart is, but my heart's in many places. It's just I don't know where home is.
Welcome back to Homeless But Human. Back with you again. I'm Blake.
Hey everyone, back again is Shayla.
And today we have two special guests, not just one. Nick and Roy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Do you both kind of want to maybe just introduce yourself, say where you're from, and then maybe how long you've been in Denver?
After you.
So I'm a second-year missionary from Omaha, Nebraska. I've known Roy for over a year now, and like what a gift it is to like receive you as a friend and to be your friend, and I'm pumped to be here. So,
yeah. How about you, Roy?
Hello, my name is Leroy Fagans. I go by Roy. Just keep things short. I was born in Oklahoma, Indian reservation. I've been here in Denver about a little over 30 some odd years.
Wow.
Long time.
Yeah, I consider it my home.
There you go.
I'll be here for the duration. And I really love it here.
That's awesome. Well, maybe to kind of give all of our listeners today, maybe you both of you could talk about your first meetings with each other, your first impressions of each other. We
those
want
are
to know.
fun. Yeah, so how'd you guys meet for the first time?
I was living in St. Benedict Park, and the missionaries, they would come by every so often, and we'd watch them as they come around. They make their rounds, and they'd finally come over to our little encampment, and they'd introduce themselves, we'd introduce ourselves, and they just had a compassionate ear just for listening to us, and that's how we met in Benedict Park.
That's amazing.
Was last year your first year meeting the missionaries, Roy?
Yes, it was. I don't believe it was by chance.
No?
No.
Tell me more.
Well, we always kept our eyes as they made their rounds. And I said, it always intrigued me about what they were speaking of.
Yeah.
Well, we got a good knowledge of that, but it wasn't in the sense of they didn't come over to preach to us. They let us know where they stood, and then they asked us questions. And they just had a compassionate ear for anybody and everybody who was there. And that was for everybody in the park, and that's how they make their rounds. And I think it was kind of fate.
I still remember the first day. It was like September of last year, and we visited you guys under the tree, the same tree that you guys would always be at. And it was always one of the best parts. Like, we would look forward to it as soon as we would like round the corner and we would glance over at the tree and you guys would be there. But I remember just every day, you and your fellow brothers out there, you guys would cook for each other, garlic toast and steaks and burgers, and you were just so caring and hospitable. You'd always offer us like your seat or your tarp, and you just like took good care of us. And I was just like, whenever we were in your presence, like it was a gift.
I love that.
Yeah.
How did you guys' friendship start developing?
Well, I was a different person then than I am now, to where I got sick.
Okay.
And Nick, Brian, Colleen, the rest of the crew, they looked after me, and they came and picked me up out of the park. I was immobile.
Wow.
And I was really sick, but I didn't feel like I was sick.
Yeah.
I was in denial that I was sick. But everybody else seen it, but except for me.
Yeah.
So they came along and basically saved my life.
Wow.
And literally.
Wow.
And since that, of which I will never forget in my life, they've been in my heart, in my soul, and in my thoughts and in my prayers.
Wow.
I was in very dire straits.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I do believe that I was about to take my last breath. And Nick, Brian, Colleen, Maria, they were all there. And I remember turning my head to the right, and I was still holding Brian's hand, and it seemed like everything just went dark. And then I asked God if he would just give me one more chance, and that I would do my best to follow the path, the righteous path. And with them by my side, I could still hear their voices. I could still feel their hands clasping mine. And I do believe they got me through, with the grace of God, got me through that night.
Wow.
And I've been in better days ever since then.
Wow.
Ever since. And I don't believe I could actually have a bad day around. And I'm ultimately thankful for God giving me a second chance and having them, these folks and you all, come into my life and help me celebrate my life.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful thing, Roy, isn't it?
It absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I said, if I could have had this in my life 40 years ago, I'd be a different person today. It's just, I have asked through God, through their prayers, I have asked for more than that I deserve. And the simplest little things that they could offer me, which simplest little thing, prayers.
Yeah.
And they let me know that I'm in their prayers.
Yeah.
And in my life, I've never felt so connected in prayers as the way I've received them from my friends.
Yeah.
Can I share a little bit about prayer too?
Yes.
So, like back when you went to the hospital, I've shared this with you before, but Maria, one of our members on our team last year, the night that you were in the hospital, like we were worried about you. We were back at the house praying, and I mean, it's very humbling to say, but like my faith like has been shaken at times, and Maria proposed, let's pray this emergency novena that Mother Teresa kind of.
Yeah, the flying novena,
The
right?
flying novena.
Yeah.
And
Whoa.
so I didn't know this before, so I'll share a little bit about it. But you pray 9 memoraries for the petition that you're praying for.
Mm-hmm.
And then you pray right after that a 10th one in Thanksgiving, like trusting that your prayer will be answered. And shoot, what faith that requires to pray a prayer of thanksgiving right after you pray those 9 prayers of intercession. And yeah, her faith like carried us and just like the way that God answered that prayer by like helping you like stay healthy and recover. And then also just I remember like we went home for Christmas break and kind of lost contact for a month, 2 months. And then the first time we saw each other, oh my gosh.
It's overwhelming joy.
Yeah.
Overwhelming.
So you recovered from that emergency medical situation, and
Yes, because they're, I don't like to use the term, I can't use the term missionaries because they're friends.
Yeah.
In my life, they're friends.
Yeah.
And I wish there were more friendships like the ones that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find it's very unique, and it is a first in my life like this.
Yeah. What about that friendship do you find specifically unique?
That I've prospered as a man behind listening and learning from their being there
Yeah.
when I needed them, and even when I don't need, I know that their prayers are with me. And that just, it keeps me alive,
Yeah.
basically. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
No. It's the best.
Oh, the greatest.
Roy, you were telling me a little bit beforehand about your experience being homeless and how it was a long time out on the streets, and that after meeting the missionaries, you wish you could have gotten it sooner. Could you tell us, just a little bit about that, and maybe just your experience of being homeless and then like meeting the missionaries and how that changed your life?
Okay, in my life, homelessness is never a choice for somebody, but some folks don't like to take on the responsibilities of paying rent and cleaning house or whatever. But it was nothing traumatic in my life that made me homeless.
Yeah.
To where since I've met my friends, I don't feel homeless.
Yeah.
Just by knowing them and them spreading the word of God into my life.
Yeah.
Allows me to follow that path that makes me a better person.
Yeah.
And even if I'm still deemed homeless, but I don't feel like that because I have these friends.
Yeah.
And all of you all.
Home in us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point in my life, I wouldn't have it any other way. And as I was mentioning before to you, that if I could have lived my life 45 years ago the way I feel and love life now, constantly being taught
Yeah.
by my friends, I'd be a much different person. Unfortunately for me, it took something tragic in my life, by my own doing, to get me to realize that I can't do it all on my own.
Yeah.
And I was just that kind of person. And thanks to my friends and all of you all, I don't second guess anymore anything.
Yeah, Roy, I always share this with you, and I say it because it's true. Like, I wish none of this ever happened to you, that like we didn't meet in the circumstances that we did, but just like, I don't know, like the gift that you are. Like if none of this would have happened, then I would never have met you, and I would never have become your friend, your brother. Just to like see how God has brought so much good from this. All I can do is just like rejoice, and it doesn't make the suffering, any easier, but it makes it a little sweeter, I hope, to just know that like God has brought so much good out of this. So
Nick, do you want to maybe talk a little more into that about your meeting Roy and how like you've seen your friendship transform and how he's affected you?
Yeah, since day one, just like I felt welcomed and like loved and safe in your presence, and I don't say that lightly. Like you have earned my trust and my respect, and have been like a gift to me, and just to like see like firsthand just like what God is doing in your life has brought me hope and encouragement, and it's beautiful. Like we, as missionaries, we do give, and yes, like that is a part of our role, but shoot, like you give so much to me, so much to us, just like the joy and like the life that radiates from you is a reflection of Christ, and like you are Christ to me. And I don't say that lightly. Like we, as missionaries, we're always thanked for what we do, especially by many of our friends. But like, shoot, like the gift that you all are to us is never talked about enough. And just like seeing the miracle that happened from like your sickness to like where you are now. There was a point in time in the year where it's just, do I actually believe in miracles? Do I actually believe that God can do the things that he talks about? To be honest, I came to Christ in the city. Like, I thought I would make some friends, form some relationships, and then, you know, just I didn't expect much from like these friendships. Like, this friendship will go forever. And it's miraculous.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. So, I know that in what you guys have just shared in your friendship from both of you, it's like you guys have had some sad days, right? Roy, you being in the hospital, but also in friendship, you get some good days.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you guys tell us about this Sunday? Because I saw some pictures.
We saw some good videos and pictures. Let's hear it.
Broncos game. I held all my emotions in because I thought if I let about, I'd just explode over the whole stadium. And it was just amazing. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. I still see everything just that clearly that day. From the moment they picked me up, we'll go back even further. From the moment they told me the day that they were going to take me to the game. I remember the moment where I was, where they told me, well, you're going to the game this weekend.
What?
Yeah, they didn't ask me.
Wait, come on.
Okay, I made sure I planned to take you to Buffalo Wild Wings, so I made sure that was free on your schedule. We may have changed the location and went to the Mile High Stadium instead of B-Dubs, so yeah.
Denver earlier, so yeah, how they just give me just
a little.
Nick, what was the inspiration for this?
Inspiration? I know how much you love the Broncos. Your daughter made you a jersey even with your name on the back of it. Aww. And you would wear that for every game day. Yeah. And
nice.
Through a very generous donor, we got 4 tickets to watch the Jets and Broncos play. And as soon as I got that, I was overjoyed the game, to celebrate your life, to celebrate our friendship, to celebrate just that life is good.
Yeah.
And for an afternoon to be at this game, perfect weather. I mean, amazing crowd, an awesome flyover too from the Air Force.
Roy's just loving this.
Tell us about it, Roy. What were you feeling?
Oh my goodness. Well, it was during, naturally the national anthem, and I glanced over at the big board, and I saw these Jets, but I thought it was just going to be something that everybody could glance at and say, oh, this is a flyover that people would see. And lo and behold, probably 5 seconds later, just this, I was still in awe because I'm still thinking it's just on the board. And sure enough, they flew by. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it was real, basically. And the whole stadium shook, and I couldn't hear my own voice.
You shook?
Oh, everything shook. And it was a joy for everybody who was there. You could not have asked for a better Sunday afternoon.
Aw.
Yeah, and just to spend it with you, with Evan, with Mary, I keep coming back to the word good. We use it a lot in our society, in our culture. How are you doing? I'm good. But just that word, there's so much gravity that I say it with, and it's just the afternoon was good. It was wholesome, to be with people that I love, to watch football. We won't talk about the score. But other than that,
but earlier, quote Roy, he said, "I didn't even care about the score. I was having so much fun."
That is true. Yeah, that is absolutely. I didn't care about the score. The ambiance was wonderful.
Yeah,
I was around great friends.
Amen.
And so my joy of life now, being around good friends, gives me hope.
Yeah.
And the good Lord, to where I can't explain it in words. I would have to say it's just the wanting to continue to touch people's lives like you've touched mine. If I can do that, just one, I would be content.
Well, you have.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at that. You get to share your story with everyone listening today. And everyone that, they're going to be touched by this. And it's been
and it's not
honor.
a small thing to share.
The word that keeps popping in my head is reconciliation, or just reconciling with yourself, with God, with now like your friendships, your relationships, your family members. And it seems like you're on it like a steady path.
I feel that like I said, I still have much to amend. And every day I have to ask God, give me the strength to acknowledge, my wrongness and how I've done people. They didn't deserve the stuff that I put them through.
Yeah.
Because they're much better people. They didn't deserve any of that from me. And through the grace of God, I see that now, and I have a lot to amend for.
Yeah.
Roy, what a remarkable mindset and conviction. Honestly, Nick, do you have anything to say about that? Just you've watched him go through this. I mean, how's it been from your perspective to see him just so convinced and make these efforts?
I mean, inspiring is a word I could say, but that comes up short. Like through this all, I come back to the word witness, and just like the joy that you live with is so contagious. And like one thing I'm convicted of is just like, because you've been through a lot, you've seen a lot of darkness, your love is deeper than probably you could ever fathom. And just, yes, these relationships that have been like wounded, like won't look the same, but with healing and like reconciliation, they can become deeper. They can become whole again, but like in a very rich and deep way.
Yeah.
And shoot, like we're human. I have relationships too that I desire to like reconcile. You've given me like the courage to like do that. And I want what you have, like that joy. And I speak for so many people. It's this continual just like giving and growing closer to God together. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. God is all powerful, and without him, I don't think we would have met on other terms.
No, I'm all the more convicted too that just like coincidences are like, that's not a word in God's vocabulary.
Right.
Like nothing happens by chance. And like you said, he allowed like you to like endure lots of sufferings, but like look what good he brought out of it. This friendship, this brotherhood.
Roy, we really thank you so much. I mean, geez, this is so honest, and we are just grateful for you, for your willingness to share. We're kind of grateful for Nick, but we're really grateful for Nick.
It's been truly, this has been one of our favorite podcasts I've ever recorded.
Oh, by far.
To get to just hear from both of you and hear your conviction and friendship in the truth that it is. Yeah. So, thank you guys both so much.
To everyone listening, pray for Roy. Continue praying for Roy and Nick. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
And thank you to all of our listeners.
God bless. Bye.
God bless you. Bye.
Mother Teresa, one of our patrons, would say, "If I look at the masses, I will not act. If I look at the one, I will." Because of these one-on-one encounters, because of people like you stepping out of your comfort zone, this mission is spreading. This mission is making its way into parishes, schools, seminaries, and communities nationwide. We have families making care kits for the homeless, college students coming on week-long mission trips and then going back on fire to serve the poor in their cities, seminarians and small groups across the country doing Christ in the City style street ministry. This mission is becoming a national and worldwide endeavor, and we're so happy you're here. For even more in-depth Christ in the City training, videos, and interviews with the homeless, we invite you to join our known and loved monthly giving community. This is one of the most impactful ways you can join us in this mission. Visit christinthecity.org and make a monthly gift today to join our known and loved community and receive a special Christ in the City gift. Imagine with me for a moment if every homeless person had one friend who cared about them. What a difference that would make in the world. And what if that one friend is you? You can listen to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, podcast platforms. And do us a favor and go hit subscribe and leave us a review. God bless you.